All right, so Andrew Christian, who is an iconic gay underman's, I mean, gay underwear designer, has decided to shut down his business. Now, normally, obviously, we could see this looks like a happy occasion. Now, normally, this would look like a happy occasion. Look, him, happy. Woohoo! I'm selling my business. Yay! How exciting. But when we look down deeper into the article, we see a couple things that are actually kind of concerning. One, he tried to sell his business. So today marks the first day of the rest of my life. I am officially retired. It's bittersweet, but I'm deeply proud of what I built, the stories we told, and the lives we touched along the way. Everything has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and I'm grateful to have closed this chapter on a high note. So, what's interesting though is that he tried to sell his business and he was unable to do so. There was no buyers. And so, part of the reason that he said that he wanted to shut down his business is a shift in consumer behavior. So, specifically, you can see here, he says there's been a clear shift in consumer behavior, with many people, especially younger generations, buying from fast fashion platforms like Shein, Temu, where you can get underwear for $3. Now, that is clearly an issue. I think super fast fashion like Shein, which I love by the way, I do buy from Shein, and the clothes are great quality for what you're paying, is showing what an impact it's having on the economics of just the clothing industry in general. Now, obviously, there are brands that charge way 20 70 times markup for their products and people still buy them. So I think that there's more of like a brand issue that needs to be addressed if he wants to be able to continue his business, but or at least sell it. But just the economics behind that, like, it's hard to compete if the government, the Chinese government, as he's saying here, is subsidizing these platforms like Temu and Shein, meaning that those businesses are selling their clothes or their products at a loss, meaning they're losing money. But the way they're getting their money back, or that they're actually getting money, is because the government, the Chinese government, is giving them money for doing that. Now, why would they do this? Because they want to dominate the market. They want to be the one who's in control, have the biggest mass share, and then that once the people have got used to shopping with them and get used to buying from them, we've already locked them in from customers, and so we've already got the market share, and so that's why it's worth doing. And this is a strategy that many businesses do, um, commonly, like lost leads, even with like regular Facebook advertising. It's the same thing. So this is part of the reason why he decided to shut down his business, and so. Some might say that he failed, right? Like he ran a business and he wasn't able to sell it and he shut it down and it didn't live and whatever else. But if you really think about it, I'd say that he won. He ran a successful business for 20 years, right? It's literally been around for 2 decades. It was profitable the entire time. Or I don't know about the entire time, but from what I understand, it was making around $10 million a year in revenue. So maybe around profits, what is that, 20%? Let's say $2 million a year, which is still tons of money. So he did a great job. And like the article is saying here, he is a trailblazer. Um, so before making the decision to close, he actually reached out to major apparel companies, offering them the opportunity to acquire it, but none of them showed interest. I think that this shows one of the problems with, creator based or influencer based or people based brands. Now, Tom Ford was a brand where he was the designer and he was able to sell his clothes, but he had a broader market of people, right? Like Andrew Christian only sells to men and only a particular type of men. And so the amount of buyers, the total addressable market is very small. And so maybe that's part of the reason why major, because it looks like he reached out to major apparel companies, aren't interested. It's too small for them and it doesn't fit their business, right? He needs to, if I were advising him, he would need to reach out to smaller brands that are bigger than him, but don't, but would still feel the impact of having to be able to add this type of brand under their niche. So yeah, these are just my thoughts. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. Like, should he have tried to sell his company to less major companies? Like, Macy's isn't going to be interested in something that's only going to reach 100,000 people. Macy's reaches millions of people, right? So that's why it's too small for them. I think he just needs to reach out for a smaller buyer. And I think there's still someone out there who would buy this. This brand has equity behind it. It has loyalty. It has operations that have proven to work. It is definitely a sellable asset. He just needs to find the right buyer. And I think he's given up a little too soon. Let's go see if his website is still up. And it's now closed. This is it. It's officially. Andrew Christian is now closed. Thank you for your loyalty and support over the years. For inquiries, sales at Andrew Christian. Wow, end of an era. All right. Well, I will catch you guys on the next post. Follow for all kinds of business thoughts and ideas